XMD program that the members are going to be able to really start to take advantage of everything that X Endurance has to offer. If you want to join Team X Endurance, contact me or Coach Sam today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for getting on. Super happy to have everyone here tonight. I'm going to be watching this to make sure that I get everybody admitted as we are getting rolling here. So what we're going to do, I want to welcome everybody to this call tonight. I'm super excited to dive into some content with you. I want to give a quick overview of what we're going to cover, and then we'll dig right into it and be as respectful as we can of everyone's time. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about the overview, right? So we're going to go over how to do a sampling in the gym. That's the goal here. If you want to build your business with gyms, that's what we're focusing on. So if you're not here for that and you want to jump off and you have zero interest in building with gyms, then go ahead and jump off now. We won't judge you. Quietly, we will after you leave. But for those who want to learn how to build in a gym, you're in the right spot. This is what we're going to cover here for you. We're going to talk about how to approach a gym, how to prepare for the sampling once you get a gym signed up for one, what to do during the sampling. Got some step-by-step for you there, and then how to grow XND long-term in the gym setting. We're going to close it out with some pro tips, what we're going to provide for you moving forward as far as support, and then we'll end with some questions. So if you have specific questions on what you can do with your gym or as a XND team member and you want to continue to grow, now is a great time at the end of this to ask those specific questions. Okay. So, but before we dive into the content, there's something I have to go over and give some props to some people as far as where this all came from. Okay. And why we're all on this call right now. This group of people that you're looking at right now, obviously Jason St. Clair, the CEO, Andrew, one of the owners and lead creative guy at X Endurance. I just butchered his title. But the rest of us that are in that picture were X Endurance sales reps before the switch to direct sales. And we kind of built this model to help talk to you guys tonight. And that's why we're coming to you to share our knowledge in this. We all have years of experience with sampling in gyms and getting people started building success in gyms. We've helped thousands of gyms across the country be successful with X Endurance and have continued that into the new business model of X Endurance. So every guy that you're going to hear from tonight, every guy that's in this picture has done this before. Even Jason and Andrew have grinded it out in some gyms to get people exposed to X Endurance and on a path towards better health. Erin Atwood is on this call right now. She actually also did this with us as well. Sorry that you're not in the picture, Erin, but I definitely want to give you a shout out since you're on the call as well. Okay. So first thing that we're going to do now that we got that out of the way, is I want to talk about how you can reach out to gyms. Okay. Because obviously you're not going to get a sampling if you don't know how to reach out. So let's talk about what we do there. So first thing that we're going to do when you want to reach out to gyms is you got to do some research. You don't just want to cold call people. You don't want to go into it blindly. You don't want to think about it last minute. Like, do a little bit of research. Couple things. Check on social media. Make sure that you're following them. You start to interact with them. Check out their website. See what their gym looks like so you have a general point of reference. Before you even reach out to them, you want to have some details, some things that you can use during that conversation. Ask around. That's a good way to start to find out more about gyms. If you currently have one that you're working with, or if you go to a gym, ask someone in that, you know what I mean? Like, ask those questions, figure out who the owner is, because that's going to be your best way to reach out. A lot of times the owner is not the one who runs the social media, not the one who can make the decisions, depending on the size of the gym. So you can more often than not figure that out by kind of stalking their social media a little bit and seeing who is most engaged, who's an influencer within that gym that you can reach out to. And then also, while you're doing your research, you want to try to find out if they offer any supplements currently, or if they've offered anything in the past, or if they have any other products. Like a lot of CrossFit gyms, it's kind of standard to offer Fit Aid or Kill Cliff or something like that. So if they offer those, it's a great lead in for us in the supplement side of things, because they already offer a retail point of sale, right? So it's a good thing to have that research and have that ammo when you're going to have that conversation. Next thing that I want you to think about when you're approaching a gym is you got to find your posture of how you're going to do that. Okay. Gym owners don't have a lot of time. My buddy Rob Jenkins is on this call right now. He doesn't have a lot of time to waste with people reaching out to him with not real things, right? Like if you call him up and you're timid, you ain't got the time of day to do that, right? So when you're going to reach out to a gym, you want to be firm, right? Like you don't want to be a jerk, but you want to be firm in what you're talking about because the gym owners get hit up with stuff like this all the time. And you're the authority for X Endurance. You are representing X Endurance. And there's a few guys that are on this call, the ones that were in that picture, we're pretty protective of X Endurance. And if you're going to go into a gym setting, you're representing us. And so being able to represent X Endurance in a authentic, real, authoritative way is important. And we want you to be able to do that. And then when you're actually getting ready to reach out, make sure that you're in a mindset of being responsive, but not overbearing. You know, a gym owner is busy. They don't have time to be hit up every single day. There is a fine line because you don't want to let them fall off either, right? So you got to be persistent, but not overbearing and annoying because nobody wants to deal with their annoying sales rep trying to sell them some product, right? So, and be genuine, right? That's obviously super important. So when you do reach out, when you finally initiate that conversation, reach out via social media because more than likely, that's going to be the easiest way to do that. If you get an email, you don't know who it's from, and it's somebody trying to sell you something, more often than not, they're just going to delete it. You're just going to delete it. So the gym owner is probably going to do that too. So just keep that in mind. Figure out who the point of contact is. But when you reach out, be very direct. Do not waste your time. Do not add fluff. Do not go into the history of the company and talk about X Endurance has this, and this, and this, and this, and this. The gym owners want to know what you can do for them. And what you can do for them is you can help them create extra income with no shipping cost and no minimum orders, right? From a gym owner perspective, anytime they get help with supplements, they lose all their money, all their profit on shipping, and they have to hit minimum orders to even get free shipping or get a certain discount. That's where X Endurance sets itself apart. So when you reach out to people, feel free to lead with that. And I'll be honest with you, I've had some of my best luck reaching out to a gym and just saying, hey, do you want to do a sampling of X Endurance products? And they get back, nah, we're good. Or yeah, sure, we'd love to. I've landed so many gyms that way. You'd laugh at how ridiculous it is that I get gyms with just being that clearly direct. Because when obviously, right, when you get a DM from a random person, they're gonna go look at your profile and see what you do. They could see that I'm Mike the XND guy, right? So like they see it. There's an authenticity there, and it just if in your social media profile, they're gonna see, oh well, they work with X Endurance, so obviously they're gonna come sample some product, and just be super direct. Interact with them on social media if you're trying to build that relationship to warm up to reaching out, because I understand it can be scary sometimes to reach out to somebody randomly, but you know if you start to interact with them, you're liking their post, they see that you're liking it, you're commenting on stuff, that's definitely a great way to do it. Or you can go the old school way, stop by and say, hey, I was a sales rep for a couple supplement companies for a long time, and that's what I did on a daily basis. I just dropped by their gym and said, hey, think about what time of day to drop by the gym, right? If you're going to drop by at 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, be prepared that they're going to be busy teaching class and they're not going to have any time to talk to you. If you drop by at maybe 4 o'clock and class starts at 4:30, this goes back to that research piece of it. You do a little research, find out when class is. If class starts at 4:30, probably drop by at like 4 o'clock before anything gets started. You're going to have maybe 5 minutes to talk to that owner, maybe jump in on a workout. It's a great way to get in with the gym owner so that you can have that conversation and start to approach them about the idea of coming in and doing a sampling. Obviously, when you go, wear your X Endurance t-shirt, all that kind of stuff, which is something that we'll get into a little bit, but like making sure that you're being authentic and just approaching them in an authentic way, but also having that posture of, hey, I can help you. I can help you create extra income in your business. And, you know, all gym owners have been hurt over the last year. We all know they have. Some have flourished because people just want something to do. But now gym owners, the ones that got hurt. They're looking for extra income. The ones who their business took off and more people joined the community, they're looking for better ways to serve their members. And so we have that way to do that. So when you approach gyms, you definitely want to make sure that you're approaching them in that manner of how you can help. So that's how you approach gyms. That's how you initiate that conversation and get people started with where you're going. Now, what I want to do is I want to turn it over to Spencer's the one who put in the work to build this, to pioneer this way that we sample in gyms, the way that we do the things that we do. If you've ever had a chance to talk to him, he nerds out on this kind of stuff and really like tests every little detail of how he does the sampling and the approach and things like that. So he's a great person to talk about how you prep for a sampling. So Spence, I'm going to turn it over to you, bud. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and you can then talk about how you prep for a sampling.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So I'm just going to try to stick to my bullet points as best as I can and be able to, stay on track, because what I want to be able to do is open it up for questions at the end of it. So, Mike, if you want to go to the first slide here. So set expectations. So setting expectations with gym owners and with yourself is really important, because you don't want to go in there with any questions about the processes or any of that kind of stuff. So setting expectations, very important. Be on time and stay the length of the time. So if you commit to a time frame, abide by that. You committed to it, it's responsible, it's ethical. That's what we want to do. We want to represent ourselves very, proper. Be respectful to the gym's flow. And what I mean by the gym's flow is like, how do they do their retail? How do they check people out? Are they setting people up for Team XND? Are they just running it for retail? You want to make sure that you get on the same page with them before you get there, so that you know the most effective way and the smoothest way to be able to get people to check out. Because the idea here is you want them to be able to get on board with XND right there. Each visit that you go to builds as you go. So basically, like, each time you go in there, have a plan. So you want to establish a plan with the gym owner. Again, it's setting expectations. It's a two-way street. So you're going to want to make sure that each party has skin in the game, right? You're going to help this gym owner out. You're going to do a good service for them, but you expect some stuff from them on the other side as well. So make sure that the coaches tell their clients or the members during the class, if they're individual or whatever, to come and see you. This is really important. You want to make sure that you're telling the gym owner and telling these folks before you ever get there that it's important that they direct people to come see you. You're spending time there. You're offering your time for your service. The least they could do is refer people to you. Post on social media multiple times. 3 or 4 is good, in that week prior to you being in there. But if they can post further out, get people, interested, get the branding imprinted so that they can see it more times before you get there. Make sure that the gym owner is good with posting on their social media to let people know that you're coming in, right? You want to make sure that you're really taking, making sure that you're maximizing your time in there as much as possible. Have the product supply discussion. So what this means is you're providing time, they're providing the location, right? So you're putting in a lot, you're traveling, you're doing all those things. So first time around, maybe not necessarily something that you can talk to the gym owner about, depending on the relationship that you have with them. But you want to make sure that you set the tone that when you come in and sample, it would be nice if they could provide the product to sample, right? You're going to give your time. They'll put together a little bit of product, get people to the booth to talk to you. And then before you leave, make sure that you're going to schedule your next visit. You want to make sure that you set this before you come out the first time. Tell them and make sure you're on the same page that the scheduled next visit, you're going to figure that out the day that you're there, right? You want to have a recurring re-engagement thing here. Okay, so next one. 3 ways that a gym can participate. So this is actually one of the best things that I think for anybody that's really trying to build a business and they have gyms as an option. So the 3 ways that you can do that is you can have them just sign up just as an XND Lite customer, right? So it's just straight wholesale retail. They can have an iPad set up or whatever, and they just direct people to the website, or they buy product, stock their shelves, and sell it. That's a phenomenal opportunity right there to get volume. So those are not bad. So a lot of people, like, you're going to put work in, and if they're going to do the XND Lite thing, it's not a big deal. It's a really good way to get volume, but ideally we're going to want these next 2. So Team XND, drive everybody through the link, and you're going to potentially be setting up structure. Okay. So the first one, XND Lite, they're just buying wholesale, retail, website. Team XND is where potentially you're going to have some members that are signing up on your team, going through the link as well. First and second, a little bit of a hybrid, but they've got their business builder stuff already set in there, so they can actually build a team. So last one, Team XND Builder. And this is where you're going to want to help to show them where they can structure their teams, whether they've got different coaches there, or if they've got other gyms that they're going to refer. This is a great way to be able to kind of build the team so that it's effective, so that volume is on the appropriate legs and so on. Go ahead, Mike.
And just for clarification on that, there's no difference in Team XND and Team XND Builder as far as how they sign up. We're just using that to denote that the builders are ones we have that conversation with, and the non-builders are just people that sign up as Team XND and run it through their link and handle everything that way.
Yep.
Okay. Back to you, Spence.
Yep. Okay. So how to prepare for a sampling. So minimal list. This is going to want what you're going to want. So a fold-up table. If you're flying somewhere, maybe check and see if that gym's got a fold-up table before you go, but you're going to want a fold-up table, XND flag, shaker bottles. You're going to want as many shaker bottles as you're going to sample products, a small cooler, ice, bags that you'll have to display, really nice looking product bags, water, case of water, gallons of water if they don't have a filtration system there, masks if that's what's required, single-use gloves, right? You don't want to put your bare hand into a bag and serve it to people. We don't want to reuse gloves. So single-use gloves. You want to make sure that you have the list of other products that X Endurance offers. So, product guide stuff, 9-ounce cups, sign up sheet, or basically a way to collect information. So name, if they are going to get some product, maybe put their product that they got down, and then email or contact information if you can. That way, when you do go back, you can actually reference back to that paper and see who got what and be able to re-engage with them that way. If you're in the middle of sampling product with a bunch of people, make sure that you've got your business cards, because if you're going to potentially have further conversations later, so make sure you got contact information, because if you've got a big group, you don't want to neglect what's going on. Okay. And then last, and this is really important, make sure that you bring an extra shaker bottle lid. The reason for that is because these shaker bottles, the more you use them, they have a potential of the lid, the seal popping. And the last thing you want to do is be shaking it up at a gym and have that stuff flying everywhere, and you're out of luck at that point. So just precautionary, make sure you got one. So maximum, everything that you have on the list from the prior one, a bag of each product that X Endurance offers, single serves to share, extra shakers for backup pours. If you are sampling a ton, you may need to make multiple shaker bottles of the same product just so that you have enough for people to try if they're big classes. A large cooler at that point. Any of your promotional items, which would be your giveaways or swag. Make sure that you've got a nice tablecloth, something that's not wrinkled, a black one completely covering a 6-foot table and have it touch the ground. That'd be ideal if you don't have a branded tablecloth. Stand-up displays, the roll-up ones, banners, posters, the flags. There's, the potential of being able to get good branded whatever. So make sure that it's, it looks good, but stand-up displays are great. Handouts with your gym QR code. So that's important because that QR code is going to be linked directly to that gym so that they'll always be able to get back to the place that the first contact was made. XND product guides, the printouts. I've laminated that stuff for a really long time, and the lamination is great because, and then I actually do multiple copies of the laminated. And the reason is because if people want to look and see what's in the product, maybe they can't, everybody, look at the bag at the same time. These laminated product guides are great because if they've just got done working out, their hands are all sweaty or they're dripping sweat, those can easily be wiped down with a antibacterial wipe and whatnot when they're done. And it's something that can be reused consistently. And, it's phenomenal. It's great because if you're talking about a product and you have a few of them, you can actually hand them out to people. And while you're talking about it, they can look. And it's a really good way to get them to interact with you. And then the last one is an iPad or little computer or whatever, tablet to and have the perfect pathway quiz as the home screen. So that when anybody that's new to the brand or new to the products, they can follow the perfect pathway quiz that's already embedded into the home screen of the Xendurance website. Your personal website has it. And it's a great way to be able to get people, to a product that would be best set for them. And then you can specifically talk right on that. So with that being said, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce Joey. And Joey was a gym owner that actually I called on a long time ago. And it's funny because all the time that I spent in the gym working with him, when I was looking to hire somebody in Northern California, I was like, man, I need to find somebody. And he said, I'm interested. I really want to do this. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made to hire Joey to take over the Northern California region because Joey is a phenomenal workhorse. He's extremely smart. He knows what he's talking about. And he's extremely detailed with what's going on. So he's amazing at this and definitely something that, what he's about to talk about, like make sure that you're paying attention. It'll be great. All right.
Oh, my heart. Thank you so much, Spencer. It means a lot to me. All right. So we're going to be talking about sampling now. So this is fun. And I think once you guys can start getting into gyms, you're really going to kind of start getting addicted to this stuff. But first one we're going to do is going to be what to do during the sampling. So Spencer touched on some of this, but really what you want to make sure that you have, right, is you need to have the display product, the product guides, and swag. So for the products, you don't have to have every single product, but obviously you do need to have the bags that you're going to be sampling for the day. For the most part, what that's going to be is the protein, the fuel. Now that we have focus, we can include that, and depending on the time of year, even hydro. So you want to make sure that you have clean bags of those products. And what we mean by clean bags is unopened. They're not wrinkled, not like you threw them into a backpack or something and you pull it out and it just looks bad. You want them to look like they just came out of your fresh red XND box that came to your doorstep. So make sure that you keep separate bags available, a full bag as well, because you want to make sure that people can look at it, they can see it, they can feel it, right? And again, make sure that they're unopened. And you want to make sure too that you create a very eye-catching display. You don't want to just kind of throw them wherever you're throwing them. make sure that they're next to each other. If you look at the slide, you can see the protein is right there, the fuel is right there, the other products are right in front, and they're right there so that people can see them, because those are the ones that they're going to be sampling. Or I'm sorry, those are the ones that you're going to be sampling, the ones you're going to be talking about. So you want to make sure that they're right there, they look good, it looks clean. And again, like we said, if possible, have all of the products. It's not super important, but it is good to have all of the products available just so that people can see them, and it's a talking point for further conversations with members. So these are going to be some examples. These are how we would set them up. We had the 6-foot table that Spencer mentioned with the tablecloth, and on the longer table is where we would put the additional products. So the small table that you would see off to the side, that's where we would have the main products. So the protein and the fuel, like you see in the top picture there. And then the one to the right of the screen, you see the long table with the tablecloth that has all the other products. It has the product guides. It has your business cards, some additional swag that you may be giving away. Maybe you have lanyards, tank tops, hats, those types of things. But you can see that it looks super clean and it's eye-catching. Members are going to look at it. They're going to see it. They're going to kind of be like, oh, what's that? And they're going to want to come over and check it out. And they're going to want to come and talk to you. All right. So during the sampling, Spencer mentioned, again, you want to have the shaker bottles. Preferably, we want to have XND branded shaker bottles. If you're not able to do that, that's okay. But we want to try to stay as consistent with the brand as possible, from the swag that you're wearing in there to the swag that you're using and everything for the sampling. Mike, definitely branded shakers. Yes. Okay. Definitely branded shakers. I take that back. Make sure they're all branded shakers. But for what we're sampling, again, we're sticking mostly to the protein, the fuel, and again, focus in hydro, depending on the time of the year for the hydro. But ideally what we would do is we would have 2 shakers of protein, 1 chocolate, 1 vanilla. We would have a shaker of fuel and fuel 5 made. And again, you could choose one flavor of the focus, or you can do both flavors of the focus, your call. But each product has its own shaker. Then you make sure you have your plastic cups. Keep those underneath the table until you're ready to use them. You don't want to have a lot of things all over the place. So make sure that the water, the gloves, the plastic cups, those are kind of off to the side underneath the table, and just pull those out when you need them so that the display always looks clean. And my suggestion for the water would be to ask the gym owner ahead of time if they have a refill station. It's a lot easier if they do. It saves you a lot of space, and you don't have to buy gallons upon gallons of water, or lug around a big Costco size water bottle pack. But really simple. You want to just make sure you have those things, the branded shakers, have enough shakers for your products, and you want to have the ice, the single-use gloves, because again, you need to make sure, especially now, you're not going into a bag with your hands uncovered, and make sure you have your water available. And then for the engagement, this one's a pretty important piece too. We've been to events and stuff where you see other vendors and they just look completely uninterested in people that are there. And when you're trying to engage with people, if you look like you just don't care, people aren't going to come and engage with you. So what we find is always say hi to the members. They're walking by. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Introduce yourself. Tell them who you are, why you're here, right? Those types of things. You're representing the brand. So you want to make sure that they remember who you are, leave a lasting impression. All right. Another thing that you can do to make sure that people know who you are and what you're doing here is talk to the coach ahead of time before class. Hey, do you mind if you give me 1 minute or so I can just give my spiel? hey guys, I'm Joey. I'm here with Xendurance. We're going to be sampling some products. So when you guys are done working out, please come talk to me. I have some stuff for you to try, or I have some cold drinks, cold products, for you to try. And we'll be able to, answer any questions and things that you guys may have. And, that just goes into the whole engagement piece where you'll be able to have the conversations with the products after that. This is by far what I feel is the most important slide. And this is going to be the product knowledge. Now, this is going to require you to actually learn about the products. Now, you don't have to be an expert, okay? But you do need to know what you're talking about. And please do not BS these people that you're doing the samplings with. If you don't know something about the product, say so, right? It's okay not to know, right? You don't need to break down everything. You don't need to be the super science guy that breaks down to the cellular molecules. And a lot of the times you just need to tell people about your personal experience with the products, how they made you feel, why you like them, those types of things. Some people want to talk science, and that's cool. So you kind of have to be able to do that a little bit, but just stick to the bullet points that are on the products. For the most part, that's really all you're going to need to know. You don't need to try to elaborate and make yourself sound smart. Just go on the bullet points of the product. That's why they're there, because those are the very important highlighted pieces of knowledge that people need to know. So definitely educate yourself a little bit and make sure you have the product guides with you. Like Spencer mentioned, having them laminated is awesome. You can even get one of those little ring to make it like a book kind of thing. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But just having them there, especially if you're not 100% confident with answering questions. Someone's like, hey, something fish oil. Oh, well, here you go, man. Check out the fish oil. All the information you're going to need is right here. And then, you can talk with them and engage with them a little bit more. And from there, you can start kind of talking. But biggest thing, again, I have to repeat it. Do not BS about the products. And please learn a little bit about the products. That is extremely important because people are going to know if you're BSing them. And then this is what you would be doing during the sampling. You always need to be ready. Okay. So you always need to make sure that your shakers are filled. Okay. Always. The best time to do that is going to be in between the classes, right? Or after the first wave. Let's say you have a 5 a.m. and a 6 a.m. You have everything all set up. You're just doing your samplings. You're getting everything squared away while the 5 a.m. class is warming up. You get it there. You put it into the cooler. You have your ice, stays cold. It's going to taste amazing after. Then you go ahead and you sample to the 5 a.m., right? Now everything's down or your stash is low. Go ahead and refill while the 6 a.m. class is doing their warm-ups so that you always have it, so that you're not at the end of the class and you're like, oh my God, I have no product, and you have 20 people in front of you and, oh, excuse me, let me go refill everything. And it just messes with the whole entire flow. So make sure that you always have your product mixed up and ready to rock. Okay. And mix your products to the specs, right? For protein, it's 4 to 6 ounces per scoop. So if you're doing 18 ounces, right, in a shaker cup, make sure you're doing the appropriate amount of scoops. Don't try to lowball it and go, I'll just do 2 scoops with, 18 ounces of water, because it's not going to taste, it's not going to taste the same. Okay. We want people to really taste the products how they should be tasted, right? Like, you want to make sure it's not watered down. You want them to get the full flavor. So they go, oh my God, this is some of the best protein I've ever had. Oh my God, this tastes like the milk at the bottom of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. If you have the vanilla protein and it's super watered down, you're not going to get the flavor that you're looking for. And I feel like that's extremely important when we're sampling the products, especially if people haven't had it for the first time, because most likely they've had products before in the past, and we want them to really see that ours are superior, right? What we're really focusing on sampling is going to be the protein and the fuel combined. If you guys were on the call before, Spencer gave his breakdown of why we do that. But this is where the product knowledge comes into play as well. And we want to kind of educate them on why we're mixing the protein and the fuel post-workout. You can do it pre as well, but we give it to them post and we let them know, hey, this is why we're doing it. It's going to help here. And you kind of have to have your way of explaining it. We could give you like a script, but no one likes it to sound scripted, but you have to figure out your way of saying it so that people can understand it and they can digest it as well. So that's pretty much how the samplings are going to run. Now it's my turn to introduce the originator of the creatine dry shot, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Nate Crow.
Thanks, Joey. Thanks, Joey. I appreciate that. So I guess before we get started, cheers. All right, now we're ready to go. Let's go. Let's go, baby. All right, Mike, you can bring up the first slide. So the part that I'm going to talk about is how to grow your X endurance business long-term when you're at these gyms. So things that we've already talked about might be repeated here, but we'll go through them again. So one of the things that Spencer and Joey talked about is setting up a return schedule. So maybe even before you go in for your first sampling, maybe it's after your first sampling, set up another one with the gym owner. If you can, 2 to 3 weeks from the time that you did it or a month later. If you're not able to hit all the classes, try to go to another time. So if you're hitting the morning classes for your first sampling, maybe the next time you do the afternoon or vice versa, or if you can do all day, that's great. And then you go back and do those same classes. Cause again, that's how you're building that relationship. Not only with the gym owner, the coaches, but also the members. They start seeing your face. They know who you are. They know you're not some person that's just trying to make a buck off of them. You're actually coming in to try and better them throughout each time that you guys go in there. So, and then as you go along, sample that again every 2 to 3 months. Again, when you're starting to build that relationship, and then hopefully eventually you can kind of fade away and still be in contact, obviously. But those are kind of the main things as far as setting up that return schedule. Mike, you can go. There we go. Some gym specific tasks to follow. So these are things that you want to tell your gym owner, coaches, whoever it is that you worked with to get into that gym, things that they could do moving forward. First 3 are all gym owner coach approaches. One is follow up with members about products. So if you went and did a sampling and members bought products while you were there, have the coaches follow up with them, the gym owner, and see how they enjoyed, did they like the products? What do they think about it? Are they seeing benefits from it? Because that's a great talking point for the next time that you go in and you're able to talk specifics with that member itself. So if they're doing the Fuel 5 and the protein, you can start with that and then maybe introduce them into something else the next time that you're in there. Also have the coach promote the products that they're taking. I specifically work with Momentum Sport and Fitness out of Wisconsin. And I know one of the owners is also a coach. And a lot of times the members would be like, Jim, what do you take? What do you do? And he literally just put it right in front of them. Here's the protein. Here's the Fuel 5. Here's the Focus. Here's the Extreme Endurance. These are the things that I take, and they trust and buy into it. So that's another great way for not only the gym to build that relationship with their members, but also, again, more talking points for yourself. And then also have that coach, gym owner ask questions to the members. Like, maybe they're missing something. Maybe they need something for a pre-workout. We have options for that. Maybe they're missing something for the post-workout. Maybe they're looking for something for strength. Whatever it is, we have a product that's going to fit the need of every member that's in there. So again, that's some good feedback that you can get from them to be able to answer questions or do follow-ups with members that are there during your samplings. And then last but not least, if you gave samples to the owner or if they bought samples and one of their members wants to try something, have them hand them out, give them away. have them do the focus game, have them buy some of the Fuel 5 Plus protein to have on hand. Or if they want to, they could do the samplings themselves while you're not there. So it's just a good way, again, to keep their members on board, keep them flowing with X Endurance, and just kind of keep them the mindset of that intact as you go along. So next one, help set up the display and marketing materials. So again, Joey and Spencer both mentioned a flag. That's a great way to have that. I know that's down there like bullet point number 4, but I know they mentioned it. So if you could present a flag to them, whether it's the first time, second time, third time, and then ask them to help hang it up. It's some pride for us. It shows it's great marketing for the gym, but it also shows like, hey, this gym is now X Endurance certified, so to speak. So when people walk in and they see that flag, they know, what they're about. Another main thing that Spencer actually came up with, and it's a must that I feel works great. And I've had the gyms that I work with all do this, and they've had great success with it. And that is having a clean display with all X Endurance products, nice shelving right when you walk in the door. So it's the first thing they walk in, they see, oh, what's this? X Endurance with every product on the shelf. It just shows that, again, that's kind of what this gym sells, what they have. And it's a great talking point, and it's good for members to kind of look at if they have questions about different things that they can go to and look at. So again, main door, front door, right when you walk in. The other thing that I'm going to skip down to real quick is the 3-ring binder. You can have a 3-ring binder either with a desk or, attached to the shelf itself with all the X Endurance products, product guides that they can read through and take a look at. And, if they have questions, it's a good way to help answer them as well for the gym owner itself. And as far as buying the X Endurance products to have on the shelf, by all means, the gym owner, again, a good way for, I don't have a bag in front of me, but a good way is to take a bag and you just cut the back of it with a knife. That way you can keep the seal. It still looks clean. Gym owner, someone can use up that product and then refill it with sand, flour, whatever it is, if they don't want to keep buying new bags for that display, so they can have that. And then also have QR codes. Again, Spencer, genius, came up with this idea as far as a QR code. So you can have 2 of them. Have one with a QR code for just retail. So if members want to buy to get that 10% discount, you can have a QR code for that. And then also have another nice, you can even put it in a frame, a laminated picture with that QR code, and have it go directly to their link for people that want to sign up. Again, I've had multiple gyms that I work with that have done this, and it works great. You can just send them right to that, put your phone up there, and it kind of walks you through from there, as everybody knows. And then last but not least, additional social media and marketing materials as requested. So again, if you, in your back office, if you need to print stuff, we have posters, different things out there. The stand-ups that Spencer was talking about, those are just some other great products that the gym owners can hang or have at the front door for people to kind of take a look at. Next one is have the X Endurance business conversation. Again, what Spencer talked about earlier. Be honest with the gym owner. What are their goals? Are they looking to be a retail shop? If they are, that's great. Or are they looking to build? Do they want to be a business builder? Do they have, coaches that have taken our product that want to get on board with it as well? It's a great way to build a team if it's done right. And again, that's kind of where we can come in and help. I know Spencer has CrossFit Huddle that has done a great job as far as how they have structured the gym itself with their coaches and the owner for XND and the business building side of it. Keep it simple when talking business, talk earning potential. Again, you don't want to get into the detail of what a coach is, what a pro, coach, manager. Not with that first initial conversation. Again, just make it, have it that easy conversation. What are they looking for? What are their goals? And you can kind of go from there. You can show them some general specifics of it, but not necessarily getting into the detail to overwhelm them. And then a couple other things is show them the possibilities of referring other gyms. Are there gyms in the area that they might know that they could get you in contact with, that you might be able to talk as well? And again, if structured right, maybe you can get that other gym on board to work with the gym that you currently have set up to, again, work in those business opportunities as far as building. Also, personal trainers, do they know any personal trainers that maybe would be on board because they have that clientele they're working with one-on-one on a daily basis? Chiropractic offices, Dr. Major on Mike's team has done a great job with that, introducing our products and then continuing to, sorry, Mike, we skipped over to that. My bad. The personal trainers, chiropractics, that people might be able to introduce their products and again, build their businesses with it. And then ask about other event and support opportunities. So one of the ways that I built this business too was by going to events and introducing myself to the people that were participating in them. So they might be a bigger event that have gym members from all over the state that are coming to one event. You have a table, a tent, or something set up that you can introduce X Endurance to in the product. So it's a great way to meet other gyms, other members at gyms. And again, it's just about getting your foot in the door with each one of those. So I hope that answered that part of it. I know the next thing we're going to go into is some pro tips. I'm going to talk about a first few, and then I'm going to hand it over to Spencer for the last couple of these bullet points. But like I just mentioned, it doesn't have to be a gym owner on board or a coach. It could be someone that is a member there that has a good relationship with the gym owner. Maybe the gym owner says, I don't want anything to do with this, but by all means, you are more than welcome to have your friend come in and do a sampling for X Endurance. So this is a great way to get your foot into the door. And then hopefully after a while, if that gym owner sees what you've been doing for sampling after sampling, maybe that'll interest them and get them on board as well too. So that's a great way just to get your foot in the door. Second pro tip, ice is a must. I know Joey talked about it. Spencer talked about it. I'm talking about it again as one of the pro tips. Nobody wants to drink a warm protein shake. Nobody wants to drink warm Fuel 5. So make sure you have ice. Make sure your bottles are full and they're in that ice. So when it comes time to sampling, they actually get to taste that, the coolness, so to speak, of our samples. And then also try to work out with the gym owner. So if you're there, especially if you're there all day, I mean, I've done samplings from 5 a.m. until 7 p.m, and obviously there might be a break at noon and a break from like maybe noon to 2. If you can hop in with a class, personally, what I'll try and do is do it later in the day, so I'm not sweaty to finish samplings. So I'll wait till one of the last classes and try to hop in and do a workout with them. It just shows that you're part of the team and you're not there just for that, but get a good sweat in and show these people that you are willing to throw down with them as well. Morning classes are gold. Just as it says they're 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and even like the 9 a.m. or the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'm going to use this in quotes, the soccer mom class. Those are great classes because especially the early ones, they're there for a purpose. Not a lot of people want to get up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. to go work out. So obviously that's probably the only time that they have to get their workouts in because they have to get to their job. They have money to spend usually because of that. If they're up that early, they're going to work, they have some income coming in that they can spend. So those are some great classes to get your day started as far as pumping the volume or getting people signed up for it as well. And the last one I'll talk about is use your red boxes that you get from X Endurance for your displays and travel storage. So when I go on my samplings, I have 3 of the big red boxes. I have all the samples that I use as my display in the boxes. It keeps them clean, but then also you can stack to create levels on the table for people to kind of separate and look at. So you can put the fuel ones together, you can put recovery kind of stuff together, and you can put like the daily immune boost, omega essential, that kind of stuff together. So that's all I had. Spence, I'm going to let you finish it off, starting with the Have Business card.
Ooh, sorry about that. Nate, that was great. Or really great, dude. So getting into the business cards again. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier. So having business cards while you're doing the sampling is really, really important, because if you do end up having a class that's got a lot of people and a lot of people that are interacting with you, I mean, our primary goal when we're doing this is to talk about Team XND and building our teams along with product as well. But if you're talking to a whole bunch of people about product, you should keep talking about the product. So have your business cards, some type of contact information. If somebody's, wants to talk about Team XND, be like, hey, here's my information. Call me in 20 minutes, right? Or text me and I'll call you as soon as I'm done so that we can talk about the team stuff, because we want to make sure that we're talking to them when they're excited about it. But you're there to sample. You're going to have a lot of people there. So, give everybody their time and then get to those potential Team XND guys later on. Don't be afraid to just get retail volume. And this is the XND Lite primarily. So gyms are great for volume. There's no way around it besides just that honest truth. So they're great to have on legs so that you can, make sure that you get good volume to grow your teams. So don't be afraid to get them, but ideally we're looking for, the gyms that want to build teams within their gym. But there's nothing wrong with having gyms that are just getting volume, because, the name of the game is getting volume so that people can rank up. Be forward thinking when it comes to structuring your teams with the gyms. Nate mentioned that I had helped CrossFit Hutto structure their gym. So we have the general manager, and then the general manager divvied out the coaches. So they've got 3 or 4 coaches that are signed up underneath the general manager. And then any gym members that wanted to get on board, then they would sign up under the coach that was designated. And we had a round robin type system so that it was all fair and whatnot. But, structuring it within the gym is a great way to build a leg that's really, really, robust, because it's controlled. You can go in there and nurture it. You can teach people consistently, continue to have interactions with people. I mean, really, gyms are a phenomenal place to get really good one-on-one interactions. And that's really what we need, is just be able to talk to people, so really capitalize on that. And I'm gonna end there. Mike, you want to take us
Yes, sir.
Take us from there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, absolutely. The structuring your business, be forward thinking with that. So not only be forward thinking with the gym and then getting to the point of having that conversation with them, but then also for your business, the point of getting volume and building your business with volume. Think about that, right? To rank up in this business, you have to have certain legs in certain spots. And if you have a captain leg that isn't super consistent, maybe if you find that gym, you sign that gym up under that captain leg and you drive all that volume there. You know what I mean? So that's something that when you're building your business, gyms can be an extremely strategic way to shore up your business and make it secure, right? Making sure that you're thinking about that is always something that you want to be sure and be aware of. If you have questions about that, you can get with me, or you can get with your upline, and they can help you start to think through that process of how to do that. Okay. So the last thing that we want to do, that's where we're at, guys. We've covered everything. Before we open it up for questions, that's kind of an overview. I did not expect us to go almost a full hour. So for being respectful of your time, if you need to jump off, by all means, go ahead. But we want to continue to provide you support moving forward with the gym side of this. We don't just want to give you training one time and then send you off on your own. So what we want to do is we want to challenge you to go out, get a gym, do a sampling in a gym, whether it's a CrossFit gym, a Planet Fitness, I don't care what it is. Just go get yourself out of your comfort zone and go do it, right? You've learned a lot here on how to do this tonight. If you want to have a one-on-one or a breakdown, a 4-on-1 conversation, we did that with Sarah Barker last week and helped her do some samplings, and she had some success over the past couple of days. So if you guys want to do that, we are here. Any one of us can help you with this process. Please feel free to reach out to any of us to get it figured out how to do it. And heck, you could probably even reach out to Sarah, because I know she had some success over the last couple of days. So with that said, what we want to give you guys moving forward to help continue this process of learning how to have success in gyms is we want to give you some more education. So over the next few months, every month, we want to have a gym success training. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the 4 parts that we covered tonight, and we'll break them down and do a deep dive on best practices, on things that you've done. And we're going to invite a couple people on to share success that they've had, so that you can hear what other people are doing and how they've done things in their gym, to just really continue to provide you some content. And then the big thing is we'll open it up to questions afterwards, so that you can continue to ask questions, and specific scenarios that come up, we can try to address those for you as well. Myself, Nate, Joey, and Spencer will be on these calls over the next few months, and we're going to record it all as well. And then I'm figuring out a place for all this to live, so that you can go back and revisit this content. Okay. So now, with that said, time for questions. I know it's 8:57 here. I know for those of you on the East Coast, it's probably getting late, probably getting ready to go to bed. If you want to stay on to answer questions, or ask questions, now's a great time. What I'd like for you to do is either raise your hand. Sarah already raised her hand, so Sarah Barker is going to go first. If you want to put something in the chat with a question, that would be great. We can answer it there. And then we're going to try to answer them as best we can based on the different areas in which we covered. So again, we're done with the actual training piece. Feel free to jump off now if you want. Otherwise, stick around for some questions. Okay, so Sarah, you are first. Let's turn it over to you. Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
So my question is, why, and I can't remember, I think it was Nate that was talking about this, but why 2 different QR code flyer type things for retail versus Team XND Lite? Like, what is the 2 different QR code? You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference?
There we go. That's a really good question. And Mike, Spencer.
Okay, so
got this one.
Now that
the reason you do 2 QR codes is because you send it directly to
one goes directly
that
to the
spot,
yeah.
right? So if you know that they want to sign up as a membership, you can send them directly to the membership, and then you don't have to worry about that. And then the gym owner doesn't have to find it and figure it out on the website. You can send them either directly to the retail side to purchase, or you can send them directly to the membership. So you really don't have to have 2 separate ones. If you don't want to, it's probably easier to just have one, but thinking about it from a customer, getting them in the right spot at the right time, having the 2 could be a useful thing. Does that make sense?
So yeah, it does, but like, and this might not be the platform for this, but like for the last several months, anytime I send someone, like if someone specifically asks about the probiotic, for example, and I go to my daddy's link, or, to go to his site, get his marketing link, go to his marketing link, find the, whatever I just said, probiotic, find that, and try to send that just that, like direct link to someone. Those are the ones that are getting kicked back and going straight to corporate. So I'm really nervous about sending specific pages within our sites to people. Secondly, when you go to the, like, whatever link, like I've been handing out somebody's specific link lately with the QR code that you made for me, Mike, and like right there at the top, it says upgrade, or,
Yes.
sign up Team XND or whatever. So now that they've got all those like cool things in there where it says like, this is the price, but also this is the Team XND price, like it's very enticing. I had somebody buy the motion box tonight just because she was like, oh my God, it's going to save me so much money if I just go ahead and do it now. But I didn't send her to that. So I guess maybe I'm just like trying to simplify it in my brain as far as what the benefit for us would be volume wise if we give 2 different QR codes, even if it's all going to the same person.
The benefit is that it's easier for the gym owner, because the gym owner that's not on board doesn't necessarily know that there's a different thing. And if they're not up to speed with what's going on, you can position it. Like, I don't know if you've seen the ones in the back office. One of them says save 10% on your first purchase, retail customer. The other one says save 25%. So for the person who wants to do that, for the gym owner to have that on display, it makes their life easier. We know how to do that. we don't necessarily need that. Yeah, Spencer's holding one of them up. Let me spotlight him so everybody can see it. Spotlight for everyone. So
Yeah, so the top one is for them to just order, and then the bottom one is for them to sign up on your team. And those are unique QR codes that would drop them directly on it. And Sarah, I understand your frustration with that, but that stuff's all going to get fixed. So this system has worked really, really well for a long time. And this is for the gym owners to capitalize when you're gone.
Yeah.
And that specific thing that you're holding up, is there a template for that in the back office, I guess?
Yes, it's in the back office.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks,
If
guys.
not, I know somebody
Yeah.
who has that.
So and a
Maybe.
lot of the stuff that we're doing here is just because like I've spent so much time in the gyms with people, and what we're trying to do is basically get you guys, away from the growing pains of all the mistakes that we made. And a lot of it has to do with making sure that the gym owners prepared and aware of what's going on, and leaving stuff that's really simple for people to follow is really important, because if they're not always there, like it needs to be clean. And so a lot of this stuff is like we're solving problems before you knew it was a problem. So that's a approach for a lot of it too.
Good answer, Spence. Okay, Michaela, Antonio, you had your hand up next.
Hi, you guys, this was so good. I was telling him the whole time, I'm like, oh my God, this would have saved my life like 2 years ago. Because we came from a company where we didn't really have gyms on. And then all of a sudden it was like, 3 gyms in like a month. So my question is, can we get the resources of like those, all the things that we need for the gym so that we can send it out to our teammates that want to sign up gyms? And if we could get like a checklist or something, like I'm probably already.
It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Not finished yet. I have it. I just haven't finished it yet. So once we
Okay.
get done, I'll make sure to
Then
send it
I
to
have
you.
nothing else to say. The other was amazing, and I got so much value. We both did. So thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Michaela. I appreciate it. Okay. And then Rob Brown had a question. This may have been covered, but something I like to do is have a raffle giveaway. I collect leads with a really short questionnaire and add their form to a raffle. Super easy and low resistance way to get people into follow. Yeah, absolutely, Rob. That's a great suggestion. I know Sarah does that too. She did that this past weekend and had some great success with it. It's a great way to get people, because like getting people to come to the table and talk to you and stuff like that, having something to entice them works fantastic. So great point, Rob. Nate, you got something to say?
Yeah, another thing too that I guess we didn't really talk about, even doing like the extreme endurance challenge with the gym itself, like that's a good way to get people involved, and at least to try to kind of try the product. Obviously with the in motion with focus too is another great way, but if there's a way that you can give away something, that always works too. Like you said, like Sarah did, a raffle, whatever it is, like that always is going to generate something as far as getting, even if you're just getting names of people that you can be in contact with down the road.
Some
Yeah,
other things that we would do too. Sorry, Sarah. Just kind of speaking on that, like Nate was saying, giving things away for free. Sometimes we would do buy 2 or more products and you would get, like a tank top, or maybe you just buy a couple lanyards, or maybe you give a pack of extreme endurance away, the week pack, to somebody, or a free sample of something if they buy 2 or more. I mean, you could get extremely creative with that type of stuff. And I mean, do whatever it is that either one fits your budget or you think that the gym would enjoy or whatever, but free stuff definitely is enticing, because we've had people that are like, oh, I could buy 2 products and get a tank top, or I could, and they were just going to buy 1. They're like, I'll just buy 3 things. And you're like, sweet, cool. Here's a tank top, and yeah, you kind of have to come out of your pocket a little bit for those type of things. But after you build a relationship with the gym, then you can kind of maybe start doing those types of things, because then it shows a little more appreciation too. You may not have to, sorry guys, you may not have to do that the first time that you show up, but I mean, it is something that you kind of have that in your back pocket. Everyone loves free things, but make sure that it's not just buy a product and get something. It's like 2 or more, so that that they're invested and they're spending a little bit. So you're going to give them something for their effort.
No, go ahead,
Yeah,
Sarah.
that's what I was gonna say, Joey, was that having that like buy two, get something free that Mike told me about was really a great, it was great in the moment. Like I liked being able to say that, but then also it was even better when I sent my follow-up email like that same night, like, hey, and don't forget, here's the promo again, because they weren't really listening in the moment. And then you have a deadline and it creates that sense of urgency. And Spencer said the same thing. And so when Spencer and I were talking last Thursday before my first sampling, like, my main question to him was, well, how do I collect data? Like I need for people's information to be in my hands, because then I can follow up, I can send them text messages, I can, whatever. And so actually, this is just like the most basic spreadsheet. I'm sure all of y'all could maybe do something so much more glamorous, but it's what I use for my my sheets when I do my dance fitness classes, because they put their phone number down and their email, and then they put if there's their first time or whatever. But so I was able to send the email that night, and then the next day, and this was one of y'all, Joey, Nate, Spence, Mike, one of y'all said it, send the email and the text. And so I was able to send the email the first night, and then the very next day, and I did that again yesterday, following up, just saying, hey, just wanted to remind you that the promo for the Endurance products ends tonight at 7. I sent you an email, but it was kind of late last night. Just want to make sure you saw it. Like kind of just putting that out there. And several people ended up, every single person that ordered anything ordered 2 products, every single person. So that promo thing was really great. But now I have their info. And so on your next call, maybe you guys can tell me what I should do with this information next, because I don't know what else to do with it.
Sarah, real quick, what was your promo that you did?
Buy 2 products, get a free bag of Focus.
Okay.
Oh, but that was the other thing, is that like having them come to the table, even if they weren't interested in trying things. I had one girl who was like, I'm so caffeine sensitive. I can't drink this. I can't drink this if it's got green tea in it, blah, 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 all the things. Right. And so I was like, well, girl, it's okay. I totally get it. Like, no worries. I don't want you to like pass out or anything, but hey, make sure you sign up, because I'm giving away this and this and this. And it was something that me and the gym owner did together. So it benefits the gym owner. Like the Total Fitness Kickboxing gym I did last week, they did 2 weeks free and some purple boxing gloves. They were really cute, actually, and a Focus. And I gave away Focus. So it benefited both of us to give something away. And the people who were like zero interest in my products were like, oh, but I like those gloves and that free membership for 2 weeks. Like they, there was something in it for them to win, even if they didn't care at all about what I was giving away. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Cool. Yep.
Spence.
So I wanted to just show you guys, because Sarah, you showed yours. So what I did was I just created a template, super simple template on Word for samplings, and easy enough. You could go onto the gym's website, pull their logo, drop it on the top, already have this stuff already pre-formatted. I went ahead and did the QR codes at the bottom and whatnot, but this is a great way to at least have something that's branded until we have maybe an official branded something, or something that Mike could put together that's really awesome. But this is what I did for a long time, just because, we were building as we went. So this is a great way. And then give your gym owners the copy. So take a copy of it, give a copy to them. They know who bought everything. You also know who bought everything, so that when you get back there, you can talk to them about what they did, what they bought before, and how they felt. And maybe that'll lead into conversation about different products that they may want to add to it. So these things are great. Sarah, I'm glad that you did that. But I just wanted to show you guys this so that you kind of have a frame of reference of
And to touch on that, a lot of the times gym owners will look at the list at the end of your sampling and they'll go, oh my God. Because, like Sarah said, every single person on the list bought 2 things, right? Let's say you had 20 people on there, you sold 40 products. The gym owner's like, oh, okay, I'll have some company come and, sample product, whatever. And then you're like, hey bro, I sold 40 products. You're going to make X amount of money in profit. However you want to have that conversation. They're like, oh shit, wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more time. I'm going to make what? Okay. And then they're a little more invested. They're a little more on board too, instead of them like, well, maybe I'll sell a bag of protein, whatever. But when they see the list and it's right there, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's, if the gym owner wasn't on board, that's the time where they can go, you know what, hang out for a couple more minutes. Let's chat a little bit, right? Or that's a good way to lead into the next call or next email, next time you guys talk kind of thing. Because then it actually shows like, hey, there's some potential here. So it's good to have that stuff too.
Awesome. Awesome. That's some really good stuff there, guys. Okay. So next, who has questions? Does anyone else have questions? Drew, you got your hand up? Yep. Go ahead.
Hey guys, that was great stuff. I appreciate y'all. Have the XND partner perks been anything that's been enticing for any of the gym owners?
It is nice because some of it is equipment, right? Like, so they can get a
Okay.
discount on some stuff. So it is a nice talking point. I don't know many that have taken advantage of it. Like some of them might've got a hypervolt or some of them got a power dot here and there because they say they do save a little bit, but it hasn't been like a huge seller for me. I don't know about the rest of the guys. I think they're all nodding along saying that it's not really, but it is definitely a talking point to use that has sold a couple of them on it, you know?
And has that been kind of like more down the road once you've established the relationship with the?
Yeah, because for me specifically, they're a little like my gym owners, a lot of them are a little leery of the $95 membership because they're not used to it. But then once I talk to them about, hey, you get all this stuff with it, and I mention it, but they usually don't pick up on it the first time I talk to them about it. It's the second and third time that I remind them, hey, if you want to save money on a power dot, here you go. Like you can get it at a discount, you know, like, and tell them about all the perks. So it's never, I've always bring it up in the initial conversation, but it's never acted on until conversation 2, 3, or 4. Cool. All right. Thanks, Drew. Any other questions that anyone has about anything? Let me switch to gallery view so I can see if anybody else raises their hands. No, everybody's good. Looks like most of the people have bailed, which is fine. No problem. Rob, I still can't get over your beard being all trimmed up and clean like that.
Got that Leonidas look. It looks great.
Michaela, you just put your hands up.
Sorry, I have one more question. So we have like somebody like a big gym where the gym owner is not on board, but they also wanted their hand in the pot, right? So my question is, in terms of duplication, because we're just like, you know, how do we give this to our teammates to give them what they need so they can go duplicate it? Because I've seen like what this could do for my specific business and now Tone, how getting gyms can rank you like crazy and take you to the next level really fast. So my question is, when the gym owner's not on board, like they kind of just want everything in their lap, and you're somebody like, I'm somebody that's going to put all my time into it to make sure that they have success because they trusted in me. But there are some people on our team who don't have the time and to basically run a full gym of people. So how would you navigate that? I guess that's not really a good question of how I said it, but
one clarification on it. When you say not on board, do you mean that they're not signed up or that they're signed up just not wanting to do it?
They're signed up, but they're selling multiple products that are outside of out of XND. So you've got kind of like a confusing messaging happening, and the products have been in there for about 2 years now. So we're kind of like, you know, there's like the people over here that are the natural product takers, and then there's some over here that are more sucralose takers, if you know what I'm saying. So we're kind of like, you know, we don't want to confuse anyone, but we also are like making sure that we give all of the resources that they need, so they don't have to spend extra time building another business. Do you know what I'm saying? So sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, to that point, what I've done with gyms that sell multiple products is I find what they don't sell that we have and partner our product with theirs. So like, for example, I used to work for a company called SFH. Fine protein, like they have a whey concentrate protein, so it's a little harder on your stomach, but it's a grass-fed year-round whey concentrate. So it's a good product, like it's fine product, but it's not as good as what we have. So what I did, the SFH's thing is like they don't put carbohydrates in their product. Well, we have a carbohydrate and we know carbohydrates are important. So I did a deal with the gym owner of like, hey, put our Fuel 5 with your SFH protein, sell the two together. It's the best of both worlds. It gets the SFH off your shelf. It shows you that our product's more effective. And then it got more buy-in. Ultimately, the gym owner stopped buying SFH because our business model is so much easier. Theirs is higher, like you have to do a bigger buy-in. And are you talking, like, do they have Advocare in their gym? Is that, so it's okay. So like it's hard to argue with margin for a gym owner, right? Because like they make so much more, but it's the ease of use of having to order and stock product, right? And so what I would push is really push the ease of use from the QR code perspective, really get them a display set up, have some kind of marketing materials in there so you can show them how easy it is, and then just continue to let our products speak for themselves, but find a way to, I mean, hell, do a comparison, Focus versus Spark, do it in the gym, do a head to head, right? Or pair our protein with the Spark and do a bundle deal to try to sell both and really get in with the gym owner and be like, hey, this person just wants me to help me sell and make money. Cool. And then they're going to get way more on board with you and hopefully get more on board with XND. So Spence, go ahead.
I was just going to say, make more money with X Endurance and they'll phase the other stuff out. That's how I always did it. I always went in there and played nice and matched their flow and did exactly what Mike was talking about with pairing products that they didn't carry, you know, putting our stuff in there and filling in the gap, so to speak. But if you're going in there and you're doing the samplings, number one, there's not a competitor out there that's going to do the same thing, not to any degree of what we're talking about right now. Like it's just not going to happen. So you're going to prove to them that you're the valuable one to stick with, especially if you're there and you're putting money in their pocket and you start to produce more on a monthly basis than they were with the other one. Then margins don't necessarily matter, because if you're not selling it, you're not making the margin. So if you're moving product, that speaks a lot. So
that's totally what we've this gym we've had on since my first month in. And that was like, now we're kind of looping back around, like, all right, you still have both on the shelves. So what are we doing with this? Because I see both,
like, you know, one of the things, like what I would do when I would prospect gyms is I would drop in unannounced and do a class, and I would go and check out their retail. And if there were bags that had dust on it, I'd draw a line across the bag or a line across a couple of the bags just to be like, your stuff's not moving. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't tell them that I did that, but I would always collect a little bit of dust on a couple items and then do our thing. And that just gave me some information, knowing like they're willing to put products here, but they're obviously not moving. So if they're not moving, then let's do something about that.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. I definitely.
And I think it's really having the what we can do better than everybody else. If you're committed to helping that gym grow, we can do that better than everybody. That's where we always set ourselves apart, is like the care and the extra time that we take to make it easy for the gym owner is second to none. And like, if you're going to, I would imagine were you probably their Advocare rep? I would guess.
No, I wasn't, but I think that's something that what you're saying too is like, these products attract a different market than we're used to, at least at Advocare. So, you know, we would have loved to get gyms on and to get the gyms that we have today. Like, we would have killed for that years ago. But the thing is, the product didn't attract that market. And now that it does, like, this gym is more of like the everyday mom. So the conversation is different to like the CrossFit gym that we do and we sample out. So, you know, this is definitely something that is new territory for the people that, you know, aren't the athletes. They're just trying to get on some simple supplementation, you know, in their life. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, go head to head with it. That's the thing. But then the value is what we provide more than anything is what you can bring to the table. If you're there consistently, you're going to get people switched. I feel like Focus and Spark can go head to head all day. And if you got a gym that's got Spark, have a Focus day in the gym. Tell the gym owner, hey, here's 2 boxes of Focus samples. Just have a Focus day. Everybody that comes in the gym, or the first 60 people that come in the gym today, get a sample of Focus. If you're taking Spark, here, when you buy a bag of Spark, you get a free sample of the Focus, right? And there's just little things that you can do, that we can do, to really start to show why these are better. And then people will switch. And if they don't, they don't. Okay, no big deal.
Yeah. Well, I love this for sure. We like the duplication system is what the main thing is because, you know, people do what you do. So the first thing that people had asked us was, okay, how do you get products into gyms? And
Mhm.
really, I just got super lucky, I think, in the first month and then didn't know what to do with that. Right. So now it's having the checklist, giving everyone all the tools up front so that they can pick and choose, you know, hey, do I know any gym owners? Do I know anybody that can connect me to a gym owner? Because now I'm ready for it. Whereas we have a lot of people that are like, we know gym owners or we have the influence, we just have no idea how to go about it, you know?
Sure.
And all we can give them is what we've done, trial
Right.
and error. But you guys are like, you know, I was just telling Tone, like, if we can duplicate this, like all of us, do the same exact thing that you guys do, like this takes everything to the next level. I saw what it did for my team and Tone, and it's just, it's
Well,
a
and
wrap.
it's very duplicatable, but you got to put in a little work. And if you're okay with that, then you can create massive growth in your business, because if you think about it, every gym that you go to is going to have between 50 and 300 members, right? And so if you get a small percentage of that in your business, like I'll be honest, guys, like I'm not trying to tout anything here, but I've got like 30 or 40 gyms on board with me right now, and I hit general manager every single month, right? Like there's proof. Like Spencer was the first general manager in the company history. That's how he built it. Joey and Nate hit coach. Like they're built in on the backbone of gyms, and it's been an incredibly successful, proven system that we can now teach everybody. I've recorded this so that we can post it. I'll share the link so that everybody can have access to it, because we really think that this is a great way for people to grow. It's just not for everybody. Not everybody is going to do this. Not everybody's going to have success with it, because it takes work. And, you know, you just got to put in a little work with it. So I'm glad that you appreciate it. I'm glad that you liked it. You were a big driver as to why we did it. A few other people too keep asking for it. So
I was like, this is all I need, and then I'm good, guys. Sorry, I have a lot of questions tonight, but
it's
thank
good.
you.
No, keep them coming. We'll do this again in a month, so that we can have more questions. If anybody else has questions, if in the meantime, the few people that are left on here, you all have my contact info. I believe you have Nate and Joey and Spencer's contact info as well. Feel free to reach out whenever if you want to do a one-on-one thing. And then we'll do a deeper dive on some more stuff later. And the checklist, I'm working on it. I'll get it done as soon as I can so that you guys can have that and share with your team. Cool. All right. Any other questions before we hop off? No? Good. All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you all. I'll get the recording up, send the link out as soon as possible. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye-bye.